Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. We got some more Walking Dead stuff. It just keeps flowing. We recently got the final trailer for the final 6 episodes of Fear the Walking Dead, and I gotta say it is a banger of a trailer. I think we got some excitement coming our way because it really gave me an all-out war kind of feel, and just the way that they're portraying some of these characters and the direction that they're gonna go with some of the story. I'm really excited for these last episodes. It looks like they're gonna close it out, and they're gonna close it out right. So I wanted to cover kind of a little breakdown or a recap of that trailer and try to kind of hit on the big points, because we know one of the big plot points of these last 6 episodes is the return of Troy Otto. And I am super excited for that too, because I really love that character and the things that they can do with him, and really how they're going to explain how he's even alive. That's what I'm looking forward to, because there's no real plausible reason why he should still be alive, but somehow they're going to pull it off, and I want to see how they do it, and just the lengths that he's willing to go to get Padre and any other parts of Madison's life, and the lengths he's going to go to track her down. So let's jump into this recap and see what we're in for the final 6 episodes of Fear the Walking Dead. So the trailer starts off with this dude, no name. He's one of Troy's people that we can assume he's looking for Madison. So he's got people out scouring, looking for Madison ever since she came over the radio and she did that announcement that, hey, we're at Padre. It's under new management for the most part. So we can assume that the man or whoever in the end of the last half of the season was Troy loading these things in this bag. And that's more or less confirmed with the bits that we're going to see. But this guy, he's out looking for Madison. We can already assume that he's on direction of Troy to find Madison and bring her to him to kind of receive his form of justice or punishment for the things that she did. Moving on, we see we got Victor here. We have not seen Victor for quite a while. He's rocking this weird new hairdo, and it looks like, from what we can kind of get from context of the trailer and everything, that he has a new belief system. He probably feels regret for the way that he acted way back in the last season, and he is all about protecting, because we do see in this trailer that he actually goes to warn Madison. So somehow, at one point or another, they find out where each other are. Because as far as we know, Victor does not know Madison's alive. So at what point do they actually meet again for the first time? And is it within the scene that he says the wolves are circling? Being that people have come looking for her. So when do they meet up again? And how? Hopefully it's a good reaction, because they were at one point, they were friends. They relied on each other's opinions and thoughts, and they relied on each other in general, so hopefully they do that correctly. This next shot is a giant horde of walkers, and we can see that this is Al's truck, I want to say, because we get a scene where this thing is just open firing on this giant horde of walkers, and they described in the trailer how Troy is using the walkers as his own army. So this is probably one of those instances where the people of Padre, being Madison and the rest of the survivors, see this horde kind of coming down on them, and this is their response to it. This is the scene where Victor comes to warn Madison that people came looking for her, and she's not real sure, and just, what are you doing here, that kind of thing. And here we got Sherry with who we can assume is Dwight, and they should probably have their own centric episode, their own episode focused around what they're doing, because we see them go back home, and we're going to jump into that in another shot that I got. And here's Daniel. We haven't seen him but a handful of times. He did find out that Madison was still alive, because they met up at the first half of this season, and they kind of teamed up, and we can only assume that they kind of retained that friendship again, that relationship, to watch over Padre and all the parents that had kids go missing over the years because of Madison. So she's kind of trying to make up for that and bringing these people into this community to hopefully track down more of their children. And here is Luciana. We have not seen her for a while, so we're not sure what she's been up to, who she's been with. Obviously, she's probably been with Daniel and that group. She's just kind of been working in the background maybe, but we don't really know what's going on with her, because she's not really played a huge part as far as, hell, even the last season and a half or so, we've not really seen a whole lot of her. It's just been bits and pieces here and there. So I'm not sure what direction they're going to go with her. But I could almost possibly see her dying because of the lack of the part that she's been playing in this whole situation. Now here, I think this is where Troy first kind of encounters Madison at Padre, where he's marching up to the gates maybe, and they see him and they're going to confront him. and this probably caused all kinds of problems. Now, this is probably an instance where Troy is coming to get Madison. Maybe that first meeting didn't go the way that he wanted it to, so he's going to respond with force on the next go around. And this is kind of where it gives me that kind of all-out war feelings, or at least some of the smaller battles surrounding all-out war, where we're going to see them go up against each other, because Madison, she's probably going to refuse him or resist him, because I know in the trailer that he says he wants Padre. So we know that he's looking for a safe haven. He's looking for a community he can build. And obviously he wants payback for the fact that he believes that Madison took everything that he had from him, his family, their ranch, and everything about that. So he's looking at this as, you owe me this. So I can see a pretty large battle coming out of it. And here we got this sneak peek. We got this in the leaked sneak peek, I guess came from a Comic-Con, but we got other footage that leaked out too. This is where Madison and Troy are meeting each other again for the first time. She sees that he's alive, and it's not the reaction I hoped it would be, where she's not in just total shock and disbelief. She's just like, hey, what's up? You know, good to see you, whatever. How are you even fucking alive? But hopefully they kind of get into a better reaction, or we get some more footage that kind of shows more of a surprise kind of thing. And here with Daniel, Luciana, and Madison probably planning some sort of attack or planning a defense, or maybe this is shortly after Troy comes back to the picture, and just they're all discussing how is he even alive. And this is obviously where Troy and his group are trying to encroach upon Padre, or maybe this is probably not actually Padre. This is probably a shipyard where there's shipping containers, because we saw in the first half of the season where they have that whole shipyard full of containers of supplies and whatever else to keep Padre putting along, but also expand and build other communities. So this is probably Troy realizing that they have the supplies and they're coming to confront them to probably take them. But we also have him that looks like in the front of the group saying, hey, I'm not here to start shit, but I'm going to take all the stuff from you. But who knows how he is actually going to be when he's reintroduced. Now this one, I imagine when they're in this meeting where Troy has Madison and Victor, Daniel, and all this other group kind of sat down and held in a prisoner position kind of thing, and he brings in this bag and he slides it over. So, but as far as we know, Madison doesn't know that this is Alicia's arm. So I can only assume this is where Troy explains to her what happened, how he got this arm, and possibly that he will leave it open to discussion, or just kind of tease her a little bit, or however you want to look at it, that he's going to say that she could possibly still be alive. He just happened to have her arm for whatever reason. But whatever his reveal happens to be, we see that Madison does not take it well. That she actually lunges at him with the hammer from the bag, which I can assume is the same hammer that she used to try to kill him before. So it's all a big kind of thrill, mystery kind of situation where he's going to kind of maybe insinuate that he knows where she's at, but he's not willing to tell her. And here is one of the more interesting parts, I think, of this season, other than Troy returning, which is a big deal. But this is Sherry and Dwight returning to the sanctuary. Now, we saw bits and pieces of this from a sneak peek that we got at the end of last season. And I'm hoping that maybe they kind of do a thing where, like what they did with Morgan, where he had to go confront his past and put his son to rest, bury his wife, and just close that chapter of his life before returning and facing down what's her fucking name? Before he had to face down who was in charge of Padre before, which was the brother and sister who turned out to be just awful people, but they got dealt with. But I'm hoping either they do it that way, or maybe they save this for the last episode, where I could see them possibly, Troy is kind of dealt with maybe rather quickly, but still in a satisfying way. Maybe we actually see him die this time around, or maybe he just up and leaves. We don't know. But I'm hoping that they save this for maybe the end of the series, where we see Dwight and Sherry go home, face the demons of their past, get past it, and maybe we'll see them in another spinoff. Or this is the other possibility. I think this is probably more likely, or one of the more likely scenarios, is that I think we could possibly see Sherry die. And this is where Dwight kind of, after this, goes home. And I think we could possibly see him in Dead City. Nothing confirmed, obviously, but I think this is probably the best case scenario. But I also wouldn't mind them leaving after everything's said and done with Padre, returning home, and dealing with the traumas of their past, because obviously they lost their son. And so I could see them returning home to maybe start over, maybe go back to Alexandria, because I think there's still some story left to tell between these two, but I think only if they go home, or maybe if Sherry dies, it will provide a reason for Dwight to say, fuck it. Sherry's gone. I have nothing left to keep me in this kind of safe headspace. I'm going to go confront the person that's ruined my life the most, which was Negan. And that could be the reason why he goes to Dead City, because he hears this is where Negan's at. That is just a few of the scenarios, possibilities I see that they could take these characters and it not be completely just stupid, for lack of a better word. And here we got Madison again, confronting Troy for the first time after he shows up at her gates. And so I'm curious to see where they take this, because we see that Madison's got her trusty sledgehammer right there. Is she immediately going to attack him when she sees him again? But I don't think it'll go that direction right away, just because he's showing up to her gate with a small army. So they're probably looking for ways to negotiate things, because again, he feels like that she owes him for his family, his father, brother, the rants that they had, and just I see them trying to negotiate it peacefully, but then again, in Troy's head, it could be not as logical as he thinks it is, but who knows. And here is another scene that leads me to believe that maybe Alicia's alive, because she's confronting someone, I'm not sure who, but she says, where's my daughter? Where is she? So at some point or another, she's led to believe that Alicia's alive, or maybe she just wants to believe that she's alive. So I think they could take this in either direction too, but I think that would be good. I think that would be good that she is alive and they get kind of a reunion, happy ending, and that's how they close out those characters. And maybe we see them again, maybe we don't, but it would give kind of a satisfying close to Alicia's character anyways, because we don't know if she's alive or dead. We got kind of left with an open ending with her last episode. And here's the famous tagline for this show: no one's gone until they're gone. So that also leads me to believe that maybe Alicia's alive. Maybe we'll see someone else pop up that we thought was dead. I don't know. And we got some winter going on. We got some winter shots, because this has, I believe, since moved production, so they're not really in Texas anymore, but there's still the uncertainty of where they're actually at, I think. Then we see a shot of Sherry, Dwight, and June. Why June's with them, I don't know, but this is Sherry and Dwight's home back in Virginia. So this is another instance of, could this be right before the final episodes of the series, before everything's tied off with Troy, or is this after them trying to start a new life, but that doesn't explain really why June's there. And then this shoots back to like the second or third shot I showed, where we see all of these walkers coming out, and then we have Al's truck, which I'm not sure who's under control of this right now, which one of our survivors has control of this, but opening up on all of these walkers and just mowing them down. And this is where the kind of belief or theory that Sherry is going to die, whether it's with the whole conflict with Troy, or maybe this is back home surrounding the sanctuary. Not sure yet, but right now her future, I think, is pretty uncertain. I don't know if she's going to make it or not. But there you go, October 22nd, less than a month away, and that show will be wrapped up. I think that they are doing a good job. They really got me hyped up with just the trailer alone, so I'm really excited for the end of this series, and they're not going to drag it on anymore, because I think they've definitely reached the point where they can't take this any further, and they just need to wrap it up and be done with it, because obviously we've got more spin-offs coming. We're in the middle of Daryl Dixon, which is a great fucking show, by the way. I was really skeptical about that show when it was announced, but I have since really dug it. It's been a good series, seeing everything happening from another side of the world with new characters with depth and mystery behind them, and it's been definitely a pleasant surprise of a series. And then we got the second season of that currently filming. Then we got Dead City Season 2 confirmed, not filming yet. And then the most, I believe, probably the most awaited spinoff is the Rick and Michonne. But not a whole lot of details about that just yet. But anyways, guys, there is my breakdown of the trailer for Fear the Walking Dead, the final 6 episodes. It looks fucking awesome. I can't wait for it. You know, I know a lot of people have lost their patience with this show, but I think it's going to be good. I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised. But if you enjoyed the breakdown, please leave a like down below, leave your comments, and as always, if you feel so inclined, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. So until next time, guys, I will see you later. Bye.